You could tell that he was like, this is out of his jurisdiction. He pronounced the motherfuckers' names wrong and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Listen to, I can't make this shit up. Watch this shit, y'all. And I want y'all to, I'm not going to tell you the typo, not the typo. Tell me who name he pronounced wrong. He going to name a bunch of names. Y'all tell me what name he pronounced wrong. I want y'all to tell me in the live chat what name he pronounced wrong.
Further, that wasn't the only person she talked about. She talked about Steve Harvey. She talked about Oprah Winfrey. She talked about Tyler Perry, amongst others. And not only did she do that, she also spoke about Taraji B. Henson. Remember recently, Taraji B. Henson made news because she was tearful talking about being underpaid as a Hollywood star, a black female actress. And she became very emotional and very transparent.
Did anybody catch that? Did anybody catch the name who he pronounced wrong? Do I got to bring it back? Do I got to rewind this shit? Am I bugging? Kennedy caught this. This nigga don't even know who he talking about, my nigga. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. He talking about celebrity gossip and don't even know how to pronounce Taraji P. Henson name right. Who the hell is Taraji B. Henson? Somebody in live chat, please tell me who the hell is Taraji B. Henson? Stephen A. Smith, sit your old ass down, man. Stick to sports, nigga.
About Taraji B. Henson. Remember recently, Taraji B. Henson made news because she was tearful talking about being underpaid as a...
No. Jason, let me give you an example. I'm watching Stephen A. Smith. Woo! I'm watching Stephen A. Smith, and I'm watching him and shit like that. I'm thinking like, because you know he works with Stephen A. Smith works with Shannon Sharpe. They have a show together. What is the show called? Somebody help me on the live chat. I'm not really too much of a sports guy. Is there a show called First Take or some shit like that? Somebody please help me in the live chat. Excuse my ignorance. What I'm saying, long story short, is that even Stephen A. Smith had something to say about Shannon Sharpe's interview with Monique, and he felt as though it was tacky and he used a lot of different, you know how he liked to use big words and shit like that. But in my personal assessment, I felt like it was like he was shading him. I felt as though he was shading him, and he was kind of like, in a sense, hating. Because if you look at the numbers that Stephen A. Smith gets on his YouTube channel and his subscriber count, it doesn't even come close to what Shannon Sharpe has on his particular channel. I think Shannon Sharpe, if I'm not mistaken, somebody could fact check me if you want, but it's approximately about 2 million views that Shannon Sharpe has. I'm bugging. 2 million subscribers. Please forgive me, y'all. 2 million subscribers, approximately. Stephen A. Smith don't even have 1 million subscribers. Stephen A. Smith is damn near a struggling podcast. Damn near. And I say struggling because of the platforms where he's affiliated with. You are affiliated with ESPN. You've been doing this type of commentary on sports for 20-something years, and you can't even get 1 million subscribers to follow you, because Stephen A. Smith, in a sense, stick his own foot in his mouth when he talks. First of all, why is Stephen A. Smith even talking about pop culture? If you're a sports guy, you concentrate on football and basketball and whatever other sport you're talking about, why is this man speaking about celebrity gossip when it comes to the pop culture or what Monique had to say? That's out of your jurisdiction. Who gives a damn what Stephen A. Smith had to say about Monique? Who gives a shit? Stick to the sports and the football and the basketball that you used to. Why the hell you stay in your lane? Like my guy Kennedy always say, he says, I always stay in my lane and I never swerve. What Stephen A. doing is clout chasing. Why the hell you swerving and talking about what's going on with Monique and your partner Shannon Sharpe? Because you're clout chasing. Stay in your place. Am I tripping? Somebody say in the live chat, yo, behind the bar, nigga, you tripping, nigga. Nah, nigga, we want to hear Stephen A. Smith talk about Monique. No, we don't. So I'm sitting back listening, I'm saying, oh, hell no. And the sad part about it is that You could tell that he was like, this is out of his jurisdiction. He pronounced the motherfuckers' names wrong and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Listen to I can't make this shit up. Watch this shit, y'all. And I want y'all to, I'm not gonna tell you the typo, not the typo. Tell me who name he pronounced wrong. He gonna name a bunch of names. Y'all tell me what name he pronounced wrong. I want y'all to tell me in the live chat what name he pronounced wrong.
Further, that wasn't the only person she talked about. She talked about Steve Harvey. She talked about Oprah Winfrey. She talked about Tyler Perry, amongst others. And not only did she do that, she also spoke about Taraji B. Henson. Remember recently, Taraji B. Henson made news because she was tearful talking about being underpaid as a Hollywood star, a black female actress. And she became very emotional and very transparent.
Did anybody catch that? Did anybody catch the name who he pronounced wrong? Do I gotta bring it back? Do I gotta rewind this shit? Am I bugging? Kennedy caught this. This nigga don't even know who he talking about, my nigga. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. He talking about celebrity gossip and don't even know how to pronounce Taraji P. Henson name right. Who the hell is Taraji B. Henson? Somebody in live chat, please tell me who the hell is Taraji B. Henson? Stephen A. Smith, sit your old ass down, man. Stick to sports, nigga.
About Taraji B. Henson. Remember recently, Taraji B. Henson made news because she was tearful talking about being underpaid as a...
No. This nigga sounds silly as hell. You remember when Taraji B. Henson? No, nigga, it's Taraji P. Henson, you damn dumbass. What is wrong with you? He was hating on Shannon Sharpe. If y'all listen to that particular show that he uploaded, he was hating on Shannon Sharpe. He started, you know how he get all extra animated and want to turn up and shit like that. Oh, I feel as though, man. Matter of fact, I'll let y'all listen to this shit, dog. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Listen to this shit, y'all. I can't make this shit up. Listen to this guy.
Of her work, her artistry. She is a brilliant talent, both comedically and just overall as an actress. She is spectacular. And what has happened to her, or what appears to have happened to her, what she believes has happened to her, in terms of being blackballed, in terms of being pigeonholed and marginalized, it's not comfortable to hear, it's not comfortable to watch. I don't like it at all. I root for her. But the first order of business that I'm going to do before I get in to the specifics of everything that they've had to say is I'm going to say this. It's become problematic. And somebody has to say it, so I'm going to say it. It's become problematic for black people. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. It's starting to look really, really bad. And some would say, Stephen A., what the hell are you talking about? What do you mean start? We've been making ourselves look bad for quite some time. Now, for those athletes out there, former athletes, you know, because the people that tried to look at me and would sit up there and would say, Stephen A., you know, selling out, seller, I can't stand his ass, blah, 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 blah. Bump them. They full of it. You were performing on a court or the field of play. I called you out for your performance, and that was that. That wasn't black on black crime. If you are a player and you're getting your ass kicked by somebody who's dropping 40 or 50 on you, and I call it out, and that person happens to be black, how am I knocking down my community because I point out the fact that you put your talents on public display, is getting your ass kicked. It's my obligation to point out that you're getting your ass kicked, and that's all that happened. That ain't selling out. That's covering sports. And you happen to be somebody who's chosen to participate in sports in a public forum who didn't live up to what people's expectations were. And we talking somebody, I mean, it could be Kwame Brown, it could be T.O., it could be somebody. I talked sports. I didn't get in anybody's personal life, characterizing and castigating anybody. That's not selling out. That's doing my job of covering sports. It's not Monique's job to do what she's just done, what she just did. It wasn't Cat Williams' job to do what he did on Club Shay Shay weeks ago that now has over 68 million views, by the way.
Notice that he wanted to mention the fact that he has 68 million views. Even at the beginning of this, he was, you know, it's not like he was just throwing shade the whole entire time to me, you know what I mean? But I'll allow him to continue to talk.
It wasn't their job to call out Kevin Hart and Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley, Michael Blackson, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry. It wasn't their job. That was a choice. A choice that extended far beyond the corridors of their job. That now has Black America taking sides and looking at one another with an elevated level of skepticism and disgust, while having others outside of our community look at us that way as well. And that's a subject that we're going to tackle.
In other words, he's saying that black people are making us look, are embarrassing. We are embarrassing ourselves in front of the white folks. That's what he's saying. When he's talking like that, he's like, man, we doing too much right now. We are embarrassing ourselves in front of massa. We can't let massa see us online and attacking each other. That's what he's pretty much saying in a nutshell. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But when I was listening to his show, to me, it sounded like he was throwing shots at Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe.
Over the digital airwaves of YouTube, as promised, it's time to tackle a subject that I will openly confess I'm not very comfortable tackling. Because I understand where people are coming from, and I don't want to give any extra shine to whatever perspective they have on Mr. Shannon Sharpe himself, but I have no choice. Now, some people would ask the question, why is that? He's a grown-ass man, so are you. He's doing his thing, you're doing your thing. I will remind you that Shannon Sharpe is a major contributor to my daytime job, which is First Take on ESPN. And to be quite honest with you, we've grown to become friends. I got a lot of love for the brother. I respect the hell out of him. He's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's a Hall of Famer. And the reality is that he's doing big things. You can say what you want, but 68 million views for the Cat Williams interview is 68 million views. The first order of business with Monique in this interview in day one, with it being 5 million views, ladies and gentlemen, that's over 73 million views. You can say whatever you want to say. You just can't take away from that reality and what Shannon Sharpe has brought to the table. The flip side to that, however, is that when you do interviews of this nature, we've heard noises emanating from our community because both of us are black men. I'm from the North New York City. He's from the South. It doesn't matter. As black men, as brothers, as black people, what Dion Cole alluded to on numerous occasions in terms of negativity selling, in terms of us going after one another, what Chris Spencer alluded to when he talked about how nobody does this to one another but black people, it's inescapable. It's a reality. And so as a result of that, I have to answer questions because people have literally asked me, Stephen A., what do you think about how Shannon Sharpe interviewed Cat Williams and Monique? What do you think about the pushback or lack thereof? Why give somebody the platform to come out on your show and say all the things that they said? I'd be lying if I said those were not legitimate questions. I'd also be remiss in neglecting to inform you that I personally asked Shannon Sharpe to come on this podcast and discuss it.
I want to pause that right there, right? Us as content creators, podcasters, bloggers, or whatever you want to consider you as, right? As if you're doing interviews and everything like that, right? I'm a firm believer of non-censorship. If I'm interviewing somebody and they're speaking their so-called quote-unquote truth, even if it sounds very controversial, even if it sounds negative, give that person a voice to speak. Either cancel the interview and never air it so nobody knows what's going on, or play it all the way out. So you're going to hear Stephen A. Smith later on say that he's a journalist and Shannon Sharpe is not a journalist. And he's basically saying that, listen, if that was me, I would have to cut the interview short or try to ask them for receipt of what they're saying about any individual they're talking about, which to me, that's not how that works. What Stephen A. Smith should have did was, if anything that Monique said was a lie, you should have went on your show, grabbed your receipts and exposed the lie. That was what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to do your so-called journalistic integrity. You're supposed to do your research and say, yo, when Monique said this about such and such, whether it was Kevin Hart, whether he said something about earthquake, whether he said about whoever. If you felt as though it was a lie, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, all them names that Cat Williams exposed, Stephen A. Smith, if you think it was a lie, do your due diligence, do your journalistic integrity, do your research, and go on your show and say, nope, I'm debunking that because that was a lie, and here goes the proof. That's how you impress people. You don't impress people by coming on your show and telling us that Shannon Sharpe shouldn't have gave people a voice by speaking their truth. Who the fuck are you? I digress.
To his credit, although he's not here, he was willing to come on. He just had other commitments because he knows I'm his brother and I'm not trying to backdoor him. And I'm going to say something rather, that a lot of people are not going to like. I don't believe that Shannon Sharpe is just an entertainer. I believe he's a voice. He's a voice in our community that is elevating by the day. He matters. And because he matters, with that level of significance and cachet comes a level of responsibility, some would say. But when you do it to the point where you're trying to act as if he shouldn't have them as guests, or somehow, some way he could have curtailed or edited out what they've said, I'm not going to go that far. Shannon Sharpe is under no obligation to edit or alter genuine thoughts that his guests have on his shows. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. Now, would I have been a little bit different? Sure, because I'm a trained journalist. And as a result, the level of pushback that I would give, I'm seasoned and trained to do it, spanning 30 years. When Shannon Sharpe was on Club Shay Shay, or Nightcap rather, weeks ago, and he said to Chad Ochocinco during one of his telecasts, I'm not Ed Bradley, the late Ed Bradley, God rest his soul. I'm not 60 Minutes. I'm not 48 Hours. I'm an entertainer. My only retort to him was that you're not just an entertainer, you're a voice. And take that voice into consideration whenever you do whatever it is that you do, so you're never telling somebody that you're just an entertainer. Because you're more than that. Outside of that, I have a very, very, very difficult time looking at the day and age that we're living in, seeing 68 million views here, 5 million views there, over 73 million views for just 2 interviews, and asking somebody to ignore the significance of that, knowing most people wouldn't. Because that's being full of shit. That's not being authentic. Most people wouldn't ignore that. Now, again, I would have pushed back on Cat Williams on several things. Because the personal in which he went about the business of highlighting his attacks and illuminating his attacks against Kevin Hart, against Steve Harvey, against Ricky Smiley, Cedric the Entertainer, Michael Blackson, and others, I would have wanted receipts. I would have had to dig a little more. That's just me. That's just me. Steve Harvey's a friend. Kevin Hart's a friend. If they came on the show right now and they were talking about Cat Williams in the fashion that Cat Williams talked about them, I would have grilled them. Because when you sit in front of the camera, my belief is that in pursuit of truth, you have to be objective. Now, you can be subjective once you receive the truth about how you receive it, how you interpret it, how your perspective is, and what you disseminate to the masses. That's fair. But in pursuit of the truth, the objectivity has to come reigning through. There are people who feel like Shannon Sharpe didn't do that. I respectfully disagree.
Yo, Eliza for
What's good?
Yo, talk to me, man. What's poppin'? What's poppin', baby?
Man, the subject on this, man. Good topic, great topic.
Appreciate that.
And I was gonna tell you, I think you kind of believe that he was throwing a little shade towards Shannon Sharpe. But I think, behind the scenes, they get together. He's like, brother, I'm gonna say this behind the scenes, because if it really wasn't for Stephen A. Smith, man, there would be no more Shannon Sharpe. That man grabbed them out, because Skip Bayless, the white guy that's on Undisputed, the man was tired of everything they were going through. They were going through a battle. He was disrespecting Shannon. And he was trying to blackball Shannon Sharpe. Stephen A. Smith said, no, that's my brother. I'm finna go get this man. And pulled them out and helped them with Club Shay Shay to get on. If you notice, Stephen A. Smith, in a while, he's going to leave ESPN, and it's going to be straight Stephen A. Smith show, because they asked for his opinions on Black matters and stuff. That's why he doesn't just speak on sports. This is a man from the hood of Harlem, Queens. He is from the hood now, but he does speak. But I understood what you were saying about certain shit. He should do his research.
Respect. Do you know if Stephen A. Smith have any history of actually playing any type of professional sports, even if on the college level?
Yes, he played for Winston-Salem. He played, but only scored a negative point and a half, because in the beginning of the season, he snapped his knee in half.
Okay.
He was a point guard, and he had a shot on him. Yes, he could play ball, bro. He didn't get to where he's supposed to be. If you ever watch his shit back, before he commentating, he'll shoot the ball with the players. This man got a mean shot, like Obama. You know how Obama got that mean shot? Man, Stephen A. Smith is a sharpshooter. He used to play ball, bro.
What was his average? You said what was his average in game?
Minus point and a half. He'll tell you that, because at the thing, he broke his knee. He snapped his knee. His knee. He went to surgery, and they'll put him in. But besides that, in high school growing up, man, he went to HBCU. I followed the man. You know what I mean? The man is for like a black man coming up and want to do like what you doing in the media world, or like what Draymond Green calls the new media. That's the man to follow because he tackles a lot of black issues and he gonna speak up about it and he ain't gonna hold no punches. That's why I gave him. I started really focusing on this man when I was in prison on a cheap ass radio that you could get at the dollar store that might break if it falls off your bunk with some AAA batteries on that 1 hour special on ESPN where he would come on and do his talking, bro. And that's
Wow.
the only thing I had to live for. We all did, just to listen to that black man on ESPN while we sitting on 23 and ones. You remember, you're in the box for 2.5 years by yourself.
Right.
And that's all we had. But you know what I mean? The club said, I just felt like, and what you said about Mike Evans too, like, you know, Mike is clout chasing like a motherfucker.
Facts.
Big boy chasing clout, like, bro. Like, and then the threat that he made when I seen the thing talking about I don't fight. If we do that, like, stop it, bro. Man, listen, Shannon Sharpe got goons with him left and right. Skip Bayless was scared to be in LA and was scared for his wife because he disrespected Shannon Sharpe a lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? A whole lot.
Right.
You know what I mean? While they were debating. And Skip just got, you know, Shannon got tired of it. So, and then you see when he ran up on John Morant and his daddy and the game, like, bro, it's whatever you want to do. This is the king of bench pressing.
Right.
The dude says who will beat the Rock in bench pressing. It is Shannon Sharpe. To this day, that man's a beast in that locker room, like working out. So them dudes think that he's a joke. He ain't what you think it is, neither. Like, you better stay in his little lane and keep being a comedian and buy back his hood like he did, because he did buy his neighborhood, Mike Epps. You know that, right? He turned the hood. The hood ain't the hood no more where he from no more, Mike Epps.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he bought his whole neighborhood in Ohio. I think it's Ohio way from there. He bought in Cincinnati somewhere. He bought the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood, and rebuilt it with nice houses.
All right. So you mentioned earlier that you think that, you know, Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe had a conversation behind the scenes before he did that. What about, do you think that Mike Epps and Shannon Sharpe also are, you know, running a play?
They probably get in touch with each other, but I think Shannon Sharpe, after that lying situation, because I can you can always read body language. I don't care if you're on a camera or in front of a person. You know what I mean? You can read body language. You think detectives do while you sitting in there in that interview room. They're out there in the double glasses watching your body language. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Sharpe wasn't having that shit. And he might have said, yeah, you could call me gay, but yeah, he ain't with all that nothing, but he gonna let that skip. But then you lying? Cause Mike F lied, bro. And if he exposed, I know Shannon Sharpe. It's like you could feel it. Like, bro, you know you text that man and it was you trying to kill off that show, bro.
Right, exactly.
Stop playing, bro.